Welcome to the Baseball Together podcast, baseball family. For those of you new to the show, we are here to raise money for the nonprofit organization Called Up, whose mission is to give disadvantaged young ball players the equipment they need to play the game we all love. We also want to unite communities by improving or rebuilding baseball facilities in areas suffering economic or environmental hardship. At this time, you can support by purchasing t-shirts and other baseball-related apparel and accessories from 9plusus.com. 10% of all these sales go to the cause. Again, that's 9plusus.com. The number 9, plusus.com. 9plusus.com. We hope you enjoy this episode of the Baseball Together podcast, brought to you by 9plusus. Thank you for joining us, baseball family, on this episode of the Baseball Together podcast. I am Brad, and I am joined, as usual, by Brig.
What up, baseball family?
We're going to get going real quick because we've got a lot of current events that we want to go down, and we're going to talk today about baseball cards because we love baseball cards. Love the nostalgia, love so many things about them. It's unfortunate they're not worth anything anymore.
I know,
but anyways, let's get into some current events. First, this week we had announced the Field of Dreams game, and
Woo!
I couldn't be more excited about this.
Me
Could
neither,
not
man.
be more excited about this. I think this is a fantastic thing that Major League Baseball is doing, and what they are doing is on August 13th of next year, 2020, the Yankees and White Sox are going to the Field of Dreams field in Iowa, where the movie was filmed.
In heaven.
In heaven. And they're going to play a game. How awesome is that?
Legit. It's so awesome.
Well, and if you think about it, they really thought about this. I mean, the White Sox are playing because they kind of have to, right?
Yeah.
Because the movie's about the Black Sox.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So they really put a lot of thought into that, having the White Sox play this game, and then the Yankees, just because I think it's just because it's the Yankees.
Well, it's a draw. Right? It's going to draw a crowd. Those 8,000 seats are going to get filled.
Yeah, and that's where I was headed next. Like, I think it's so cool what they're doing here. They're keeping it intimate. They're keeping it small. They're going to build an 8,000 seat stadium, or they're going to have 8,000 seats around it. And then this is the thing I think is super cool. So they're going to have an outfield wall with windows so you can see the corn.
Oh, that's awesome. It's too bad that there's a wall.
Oh, I know. They should have just put a yellow line on the ground
and leave it with corn.
And if it goes over the corn on the fly, it's a home run. If it goes into the corn, it's a ground rule double.
There you go. That's a great idea.
That would be an awesome way to. It's like Little League.
That's
all
what
over
it's supposed to be. That's a cool.
That would be so cool.
Call the commish, man.
Oh, I got a lot of thoughts on the commish. That'd just be one of them in the conversation.
First call Bob Costas and get him on the phone with the commish. We need him on our team.
Bob, we need to make a phone call.
Come on, Bob. His conference call with the commish, Bob. By the way, if any of you have read Bob Costas' phenomenal book, Fair Ball, you'll know what we talk about. But for those of you that have not, you're missing out.
Yes, it's a great read. We're going to go over it one of these times on the podcast. Eventually, we're going to get to it.
So if you want to know about it, though, so good.
It's a fantastic book.
I absolutely agree. Okay, so a couple of questions that I have that have been brought up in the group when this got announced. It's a little gimmicky, but I don't care. This Field of Dreams thing. Do you care? It's a little gimmicky, but do you care?
No, I don't care. The reason I don't care is because the NHL was doing this for a little while. They did their stadium series, where they'd play at football stadiums. And that was like the one or two games of hockey that I watched a year because I wanted to see it. Right? It's like, how cool is that? I think it's going to be so cool to see these teams come out here to this field that is basically just like playing down the street. It's not, I always refer to Bull Durham pretty much every day in my life, and I'm referring to it now, that going to those cathedrals of ballparks that they play in every day.
Yeah.
And you're going to this intimate park, this intimate field. It's not even a
Yeah,
park;
it
it's a
is.
field. You know, and you're getting an opportunity, and it's 8,000 lucky people are going to get to watch this game.
So I want to know how does one obtain a ticket to this game? And I asked that question on the group and got some really snotty answers back that I really loved.
You did, yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
it was
mean,
fun.
like, seriously, who do I give my
I
money to?
honestly think, like, you've got to know somebody.
Yeah, with 8,000 tickets, right? There's nobody who doesn't.
Yeah.
You got to be a family member, or I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Maybe Marlins man.
Yeah, the Freeze, he's gonna show up.
Yeah, the Freeze better be running through the. Could you imagine racing the Freeze through the corn?
Nope.
Add a wrinkle.
I can't imagine racing the Freeze. Let's put it that way. Because look, man, after I got out of the army, I don't even run errands. I don't run to the store to grab anything. I don't run to the bathroom. I don't say, hey, do you want to run to Walmart or the Hobby Lobby? I'm like, no, man. We can mosey though. We can venture.
That's how I feel. My knees are so bad that I don't run either. My son, just today, he's like, Dad, will you show me how fast supersonic is? I was like, I got like 3 steps in me.
Let me pull up a YouTube video. I'll show you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
No, I get that. No, I'd be if I did make it more than 3 steps running, I'd be that guy who fell on his face. Did you see that video? Raising the Freeze.
That's awesome. So, so Denise Cantu brought up some good points. You know, how are they going to park? Right, the parking is going to be a huge issue here. You know, people who can't get a ticket are going to show up just to be a part of it.
Yeah,
yes, and so it's going to be a madhouse, and maybe worth it. I don't know, just to be there for that party.
Oh, if you can, like, I mean, MLB is going to have security for miles if they want to keep this thing as exclusive to 8,000 people. And if they're not going to do that, if they're not going to have security for miles and they're just going to be like, tickets at the gate, you know, there's going to be people standing around down the street with binoculars watching this thing. Which, you know, if that's the length you're willing to go to watch the game, you're probably willing to do that anywhere else. Just like in Chicago, how they watch games across the street on the rooftop.
Which I love, by the way. I think it's awesome.
But no, I do think it's interesting, though. I hadn't thought about that, like what they're going to do as far as limiting to 8,000 people and kind of the logistics of it. I would think that they've thought about it because I've said before that MLB loves to work through the logistics. That seems to be their hang up on everything. And if they're pulling the trigger on this thing and doing it, then they must have thought of just about everything.
That's true.
So, I don't know. But we're a year away, and I already am super excited. I can't wait for it.
You know, the TV ratings are going to go through the roof.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I think it's going to be like that Stadium Classic the NHL did. People are going to want to tune in because if you haven't seen the movie, you know about it. You know what it is. And so you're going to want to tune in and say, what does this look like? Because that was the first time I tuned into those NHL games.
Absolutely. I
want to see what it looks like. And the first one I turned on, it was snowing. I was like, yeah, I'm here for hockey in the snow. That's cool.
Totally cool. That is, I didn't know about this. I can't contribute to that, but this sounds really cool.
So yeah, I think this is going to be really cool. There's going to be a lot of eyes, and
it
could be one of the highest rated games of the season, to be honest.
Hopefully the White Sox can put together some sort of, you know, like showing. But not to talk trash in advance or anything.
So this week, the Blue Jays called up another one of their legacy prospects, or one of their legacy players. They called up Bo Bichette. Yes, that's right. That is Bo Bichette, son of Dante Bichette, who played for the Colorado Rockies. And this kid is phenomenal. Holy cow. He was ready for big league pitching because he has been hitting it to shreds.
Yeah, he's beating the crap out of that baseball.
Oh, yeah, for real. I have some fantastic numbers. This is an Instagram post that I actually found just before we came on. This is Friday night. So his first 11 career games. Okay, you ready for these numbers, Brig?
I'm ready, man.
He's batting .408, 4 home runs, 9 doubles, and a 1290 OPS.
Whoa, in 11 games.
Holy smokes, in his first 11 games. Not just a cherry-picked 11-game stretch. His first 11 games. That's what blows my mind, is that he took no time to adjust. He got up there and he's like, that's all you got?
Wow.
Yeah, I cannot believe what he's doing. He's obviously going to come back to earth. Pitchers are going to figure out how to pitch to him.
Yeah, for sure.
But if he has this kind of potential, this guy's going to be something else. He's going to be unreal.
Well, okay, so I have a couple of statistics for you as well. Mm-hmm. He is the first, what we call a freshman, right? Mm-hmm. He has 12 or more extra base hits in his first 11 games. That's crazy. And he's also the first rookie since Ted Williams, who in 1939 did this and got an extra base hit in 9 straight games. 9 straight games for a rookie since Ted Williams to get to get an extra base hit in 9 straight games. So, and then on top of that, he's also the first player in all of Major League history, but not just rookies, but I mean like everybody. Mm-hmm. So he has a doubles streak of 9 or more games going.
That's insane.
Ever.
That's just nuts. and here's the thing, is like, granted, he hasn't faced like the best pitching because he was going against the Royals, he's going against the Orioles. And the Orioles
and the Yankees too.
Historically bad. And that's where I was headed next. However, in his last few games he's gone against the Rays.
Yeah.
One of the best pitching staffs in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And then against the Yankees.
Yeah, man.
So he was able to kind of ease into it seems like, but now he's facing elite pitching and doing this?
Yeah.
Come on.
He got his 4th homer off of Domingo Germán.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I know I kind of bagged on Toronto a few weeks ago, but man, the Blue Jays are going to be a lot of fun to watch for a long time.
Yeah.
With this group that they have.
We were talking about it
Bichette
earlier.
And Guerrero, yeah.
Yeah. They're going to be, like, next year could be a real fun contention year, like a contender year for them. But then, like I said earlier, I think that 2021 is like a solid gold oldie in the making. It could be. It could be.
Think so.
Yeah.
It very well could be. Yep.
They're fun, man. They're exciting. Yeah. They're young. They're hungry and angry and everything. It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, especially since all 3 of those guys were kind of held down in the minors for longer than they should have been.
Way longer. With numbers like this, and you tell me they didn't know about that?
Yeah. Yeah. He's not ready. For what?
For what? For his contract arbitration to come up too soon?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Insane.
Poo-poo faces. There you go. I said it.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Let's get it out there. Rookie slang. It's fine.
Yep. Let's get on to the biggest news of the week. Players Weekend uniforms were dropped.
That is the biggest news of the week, for sure.
The biggest news. I mean, this is like the thing that really made waves through media, conversation, everything. Yeah. I really feel like they know when to drop this stuff in the beginning of August. Like, oh, here we go. Here's a good time.
There's nothing else going on in the world, so why not, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, they picked a perfect time to do it. So, for anyone who hasn't seen these yet, they're black and white. Just straight up. One team will wear black, one team will wear white. Black and white hats, like straight black, straight white hats. I said on our VIP group feed when there was a link posted to these, I believe it was Denise Cantu who posted this initially. I saw this and I was like, gosh, my very first thought was, this is a cop-out. Like, Major League Baseball is not even trying right now. Like, because I bought a black Mariners hat, I want to say in like 8th grade. These hats have been available at Lids for 20 plus years. This is nothing new. It's like somebody who's just walking around Lids like, what if we just did that whole color scheme for uniforms?
Whoa, brilliant.
And I could see if they... Yeah, and I could see if they decided, for those white ones especially, like, here is a blank canvas. Do
Yeah,
as you wish with it. Here's some markers, here's some paint, whatever you want to do. Um, draw, write some stuff on it. If you have a logo, have them put a sticker on there or something, or a patch. Do whatever you want to the uniform. And same thing with the black ones. Like, here's a silver Sharpie. Draw on it, go to town, write whatever you want on it. Here you can put some patches, stickers, whatever you want on it. If they used them as a blank canvas, I could see having these bland uniforms.
I agree. That makes a lot of sense to me.
But they're just what they are. And that's kind of what I thought too. I was like, is there more to this? Am I missing something? They're like, no, just black and white uniforms.
Don't ask too many questions, Brad.
Yeah, I know. Overthinking things.
That's not the way we roll. It's funny though, because my first thought was, wow, this would be really cool for the players to show off their fancy socks and their funky bats and all the different stuff that players get to bring to the players' weekend. But then I started thinking the same thing you did. That must have been as far as they got in the decision making. Was, well, how can we do something kitschy that will let the players show off their personality? And that's what it's turned into. I don't think they went any further than that, and that's too bad.
Yeah, and like they're doing the whole thing with like they can have their phones out during the national anthem and things like that.
That's
which,
awesome.
That's
I like
fine.
that. Yeah,
that's cool. Whatever. And that'll be fun to watch. That any players that you follow on social media, that will be a whole lot of fun to watch, to get to see that perspective. Like
Me too.
I'm here for that. But if that's all this is, basically, like,
that and nicknames.
Yeah, and nicknames, which are pretty fun. But I think they should have done what they did last year, which was use the Little League Classic uniforms across the league. And speaking of the Little League Classic, those were actually released this week as well.
Crushed it
this year. It's just the Cubs and the Pirates, and they did crush it. They totally crushed it. Wipe out those monochrome uniforms. Send these Little League Classic uniforms across the league. Mandate it today, because they're
amazing. They have the sleeves are a different color so the bodies are white, okay, and then or gray, and then the sleeves are the home team color, the team's primary color, and then they're doing this cool thing where part of them look to be almost metallic in it and has a shimmer to them. It's gonna be really cool, and they're in a V-neck. They're a pullover V-necks T-shirt style. Man, I am.
Yeah, it's like a Little League T-shirt jersey kind of thing.
It's awesome. They're so stinking cool. Yeah,
and Pittsburgh, they're wearing across the middle of theirs in that shimmer material, whatever it is. It says the Brig,
which is awesome,
which I love. And then the Cubs, they have Cubbies on theirs.
It's so cool.
Which I don't think they could have done any better with that, with Cubbies.
No, it's amazing.
I mean, I think the only improvement, now that I'm thinking about this, that they could have done better was for the Pirates, had Bucks instead of the Brig.
Well, no, because when you're away, the away team wears the hometown name on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if you're wearing Little League style uniforms, you're just going to have the team name. You're not going to necessarily have the city.
True.
So just go Bucks and Cubbies. I think that would have
been awesome.
But the hats. Let's talk about these hats for a second. Man. I could talk about hats every week. Let's be real.
I could too. Absolutely.
So the Cubs are using their regular. It's kind of like their batting practice hat. It's got the C with like a cub crawling through the C, right? Which I think is a cool alternate. They have that same logo on the left breast. And then the Pirates have my absolute favorite logo in baseball on the front of their hat. It's that pirate with the bandana with the eye patch.
Snarling.
My only problem is that it's a yellow bandana on a yellow hat. We were talking about this earlier, that they should have done a red bandana just for pop of color.
Well, and that's what's in their logo, is the Pirates wearing a red bandana in their primary logo.
Yeah, and I think it's so cool, though. I'm not kidding you. That's my favorite logo in baseball, and I'm so happy to see it. If they used it more, I might just be a Pirates fan. Because I'd have tons of Pirates stuff.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, Brad has a pirate thing. So
I do have a thing for pirates, and it's not necessarily the pillaging and the plundering. It's I grew up sailing, and I like it. So,
Look, Brad, you explain it however you want, man. But we all know. I have a thing about pirates too, so I am not free of this. But I like the plundering and pillaging thing. I'm like, hoist the black flag, spit on your hands, and start cutting throats, man. That's where I'm at.
It is cool.
That's how I feel. Sometimes
pirates are awesome.
There's a time in a life where you just got to do that, you know.
But yeah, so I'm here for these Little League Classic uniforms. I think they should just put those across the league instead of these player weekend uniforms that are just black and white, because it's so boring.
It's boring.
They were so fun last year what they did, and where they had like that patch on the side where they said like somebody who inspired them or helped them get to where they are.
Yep.
I think that's super cool. They need to do that again with these. No, it's Players Weekend. Like, have fun with it.
Yeah.
Do more.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, black and white's not fun.
And then, so this was a predominant concern in the group when we talked about it, but all the teams wearing white are going to be blinding on a sunny day to the teams not wearing white. Mm-hmm. That's going to be an interesting experience.
I don't know how you're going to pick up the ball as a batter with a pitcher wearing all white.
No.
And I know that pitchers normally wear white, but I don't think there's not a team in Major League Baseball who has a white hat.
No, there's not. And I think the pitchers are going to wear black hats no matter what or something like that.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
That's what I was told. Is that
Yeah, because I was like, when are you going to pick up the ball if it's coming off somebody's head?
Yeah.
Like, that is way too late to be picking up the ball.
Yeah, I think the pitchers are going to wear black hats no matter what.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
They should. Just for, yeah. I mean, if you're going to have a batter's eye, you should have contrast on the pitcher's head, too.
Agreed.
So, I don't know.
I don't know.
How about you just don't go with black and white uniforms and you don't have that problem?
Let's just start with there. Let's walk it all the way back.
Yep. Yeah. Take it all the way back to the beginning. That's called a full circle.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about baseball cards. Hey, Mike, Catherine, those are some cool t-shirts you guys have.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I got it from 9plusus.com. They have tons of great baseball designs.
Yeah, I wear my 9plusus clothing all the time. My favorite gym tank says diamonds are everyone's best friend. And my go-to shirt for barbecue says a hot dog at the ballpark is better than steak at the Ritz.
Wow, I love that.
Right? Isn't that so cool? Yeah, I also got this snapback from 9plusus. They're really the greatest stuff.
Well, I'm going to have to do some shopping after this batter. What was that site again?
So yeah, it's 9plusus.com. So the number 9, right? 9 players on the field plus us. So 9, the number 9, PLUSUS.com.
Shop 9plusus.com. Apparel for game day and every day.
Welcome back, baseball family. We are going to talk about one of the oldest, perhaps, traditions in the baseball fandom world, and that is baseball cards.
Yeah.
As you know, some of you know, I was a notorious baseball card trader.
Hustler.
In my youth. A hustler, if you will. Yes. When the Pokemon craze was big, everybody was into it, and I didn't get it. I still don't get it. That's fine. But I never even played Pokemon Go, for your information.
Hey, you know what, though? Quick movie recommendation. See Detective Pikachu. I watched it last night.
Is it good?
Hilarious. Super funny.
Okay.
Anywho, go ahead.
All right. Well, okay. I love Wade Wilson, so, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever he wants. Whatever his real name is. I don't know.
We'll go with Wade Wilson.
Anyway. Yeah, thanks. Ryan Reynolds, that's his name. Anyway, here's the point. I was hustling Pokemon cards for baseball cards when I was a kid. So I have a ton of baseball cards. I grew up looking through my dad's baseball cards. There's a really terrible story about my dad's baseball cards that we won't get into, but it's one of the things that he brings up every chance he gets, right? Whenever baseball card conversation comes up, my dad says, and you know what happened to mine? And then he rants and raves because that is how, and he's right. He was, treated poorly. But I mean, that's how near and dear baseball cards have been in the hearts of baseball fans for so long. So the point I'm trying to make is, baseball cards are fun. They're supposed to be fun. I think they're dying though, which is terribly sad.
They are. You can still get them though, which I think
I
is
see
cool.
them all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go to Target or Walmart or whatever, and they're there, and you think, "Oh, wow, I want a pack of cards so bad." Just like a little 25-pack mystery card pack.
Yeah, the problem with them though is they're just not worth anything anymore, which is a real bummer. Because I mean, they used to be like it's insane what they were worth back in the day. Yeah. Like I remember specifically, and this is actually kind of a touchy subject for me. I'll get to why. So I had 2 baseball cards that were worth considerable amount of money. I had one was a Ken Griffey Jr. card from 1996. It was I'll talk more about this in a little bit, but it was a triple play Bomb Squad edition Ken Griffey Jr. card. It's worth $10. $10 this card.
Wow.
And then I had a same edition, same like brand. It was triple play. It was like a black signature edition Frank Thomas card.
Yeah.
It's worth $35. Whoa. Dude, I was 10 years old, 11 years old, sitting on these cards worth a total of $45 had them
That's a big deal back then.
Oh, big time. Sitting in plastic cases, had them displayed up in my room. And Frank Thomas was my best friend's favorite player at the time. He'd be like, I want that card so bad. And he knew how much it was worth because I'd buy a Beckett every couple months to like check how much my cards are worth and everything.
Yeah, everybody did. Yeah, man.
And then we moved 2 years later. Got lost in the move.
Oh.
To this day, like every once in a while, I'll like go through my baseball cards. Like, are they gonna pop up? Are they gonna pop up?
Yeah. Oh,
I
man.
haven't seen those cards since 1998.
Oh, that is brutal, dude.
Yeah, and I'm sure now, maybe a couple cents, if even that. Yeah. But at the time, like that was a big deal. It's especially to a 10-year-old.
Exactly, and well, and I don't get why baseball cards were such a big deal to us. Like it's. They fit in your pocket. Maybe that was why. Maybe because they were accessible with visual, image being so visual. I don't know. Maybe it was the players' stats on the back. I still don't understand why we loved them so much, but we loved them.
So for me, and oh my gosh, I can't tell you how much I loved them because that summer that I got those 2 cards, my mom would give us chore lists, and every day. As a 10-year-old, I'd do my chores, and then I would get 50 cents each day for our chores because it was just like 2 or 3 different things, just for the summer. But those triple play packs were 96 cents each, right? For like 10, 15 cards. Brig, I cannot tell you how many baseball cards I bought that summer. I am not kidding you. I bought so many. And I mean, I'm not surprised I ended up with those 2 cards because I probably ended up with just about the whole set.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Loved every single minute. I loved the design of the card. I had like this whole big thing with like these glossy cards, and I would sit while I was watching games. I would sit with my cards and look for the guys that I had, especially awesome. For that day. Like I'd be like, oh, I got that guy today. That's awesome. And I'd look at his stats and I'd learn more about him. And that set, are you ready for this? This is so awesome. I still think this is so rad. And, now that I think about it, I think it was 1994 because I had these rookies. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Manny Ramirez, Chipper Jones, Javi Lopez,
Ugh.
And I think there's a Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, and there was one more that I can't think of. But I had all these rookie cards in there for these guys. And I was just like, this is super cool.
That's cool.
And then looking back on it years later, it was like, that was an amazing set that I couldn't believe that I got these sets for $1 a piece.
I know.
All summer long. But
it was like gambling. was like gambling for 10-year-olds.
And I did it all summer long.
Here's a 25-pack. It's mystery. You never know what you're going to get from Tops. It's just in that clear plastic or that, tinfoil color, cellophane.
Yeah, and I would get in the car. As soon as we got in the car, I'd rip them open. Like, who did I get today?
Oh, yeah.
I got that one. I got that one yesterday.
Oh, yeah, and the disappointment. So when I was sorting my cards and I'd go through them, I had the big 3-ring binder with all the little clear plastic pages with all the, with 9 slots in it for the baseball cards. And if I ever got a straight duplicate, it went right behind the first one.
And see, mine, I use duplicates to trade.
Yeah, I did too.
But I never told whoever I was trading with. I never told who I was trading with that I had a duplicate.
Yeah.
I'd be like, here's this Carlos Baerga. He made an appearance in Little Big League. Here you go. Thank you for the Mark McGwire card.
Yeah, thank you for the Mark McGwire card.
And that's actually a true story. I had a friend down the street who knew nothing about baseball, knew nothing about baseball cards, and he found a Mark McGwire rookie card in his room. He's like, "Hey, you want this?"
You're like,
"Yeah."
Yes. Would you like this Pokemon card for exchange?
And I took it home. I threw it right in the front of my binder. Is like, that goes there.
Oh,
because that's the most valuable card in the book,
dude. For sure, I prize possessed every one of mine. I had a sorting system for all of them, and I would go through. It's maddening now how much time I spent on this when I think about it. But I would go through and rearrange them by team, and then a couple weeks later, I'd get all antsy about it for whatever reason. I just have to touch them apparently, and I'd pull them out and I'd rearrange them by position player. For all my first basemen go here, and all the second basemen go in these, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I'd pull them all out again a few weeks later, and I'd say, okay, now we're gonna do by, I don't know, batting average, or by whether they're wearing home jerseys or away jerseys, or I did, and I just was this neurotic little boy. Apparently, who just had to be playing with his stupid baseball cards the whole time. It's so funny looking back.
Oh, and I was the exact same way. I would go through and I'd have them organized by brand. Okay, Tops goes first, Triple Play next. And then Skybox or whatever. Yep. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? I think it'd be really cool if I did them by team. Okay, here are all my Mariners. Here are all my Orioles. Here are all my Yankees. Put them in. And then a week later, oh, it'd be really cool if I had them all in alphabetical order. So I take them all and alphabetize them.
Or alphabetize by team.
I should make... Yeah, I'd alphabetize by team. And I think one time I made fantasy lineups.
Oh, nice.
I was like, since it's 9, I was like, okay, here's my leadoff hitter, here's my 2 hitter, here's my 3, here's my cleanup.
That's
and I'd
awesome.
make sure I had oh my gosh, that was the most intense I ever got with it. And it probably took me 4 or 5 days to do it, but I did.
I don't doubt that,
because I wanted to organize my baseball cards.
I don't know what, man. And we have nothing in our lives like that right now. It has not been replaced. There's a void. It has created a vacuum. That must be where addiction and crime and stuff like that comes from, or something. It's this loss, There's we haven't put anything in that spot,
Exactly. I can't imagine.
Oh my God. Can you imagine how productive we would have been with all the energy and all the brain power and all the stuff that we put into that?
And looking back, growing up, my mom was a piano teacher, and I tried to learn to play the piano so many times. And if I had put the amount of effort into learning the piano as I did my baseball cards, I would be a concert pianist now. I guarantee you, I'd be so good at the piano. I can't even read music, much less play the piano.
We could speak 3 languages by now each. In the amount of time.
For real. Oh, absolutely.
And the money we spent, I know it was the 90s or whatever, and that money's different now, but
hey, it was an investment.
It was.
Baseball cards were an investment. Yes. And here's this too. So when I was born, my dad bought me 2 complete sets of Tops. And growing up, I just thought they were his because they were his old baseball cards. But he's like, "No, I bought those for you when you were born." Because they're like the box, the full box. I still have them to this day, but it's the full Tops box,
for the whole season,
to the whole set. And I remember when I got into college, I was like, oh my gosh, the day has come that I'm supposed to sell these to pay for my school. And so first I kind of went to like test the water. I had like a pocket full of cards, and keep in mind I'm like 18 years old. Okay, like I'm not a kid necessarily. I'm 18. I go down to the card shop. I have like my 8 cards that I think are going to be like the worst, worth the most money. I walk into the card shop, and I'm looking around to kind of see what he has, and I'm looking in the glass case, and I don't see any baseball cards. And here's a little tidbit about this place. It used to be batting cage, and in the front of that batting cage, they sold baseball cards, and that's how I knew this.
That's legit, man. That's like the back alley of baseball.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Oh, for real? Yeah, I think it was called the bad alley too. But yeah, but so I didn't see any baseball cards. I was like, "What is the deal?" So I walk up to the counter, and the guy's sitting there. And I was like, "Hey, do you buy or sell baseball cards?" He's like, "No, there's no money in them. I stopped doing that a couple years ago."
Heartbreaking.
What? It just like everything just sunk right out of me. I was like, "Oh, you've got to be kidding me!"
Yeah.
Had this whole binder full, and so this binder that I had was like a 2-inch binder, but it was bulging to probably 3 inches because it was a specific binder for baseball cards. And it even had windows. It had 6 windows.
Totally.
On the front,
yeah, I had the same. I probably had the same one. It's kind of padded.
Was it an upper deck one?
Probably. We probably did.
Yeah, we probably had the exact same one. Yeah. but I had this old like binder, and I was just like,
"What? Oh
what
no!
Have I done?
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know."
It's funny. I'll bet you. So I have a almost identical story, right? I didn't expect to pay for college, but I did get into a financial jam when I was 18 or 19 or whatever it was. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell my baseball cards.
Yeah.
And so I did. I did the same thing, man. I took a box. I had so many cards. So I had a box in one hand and I had my bulging binder in the other. And I walked in, and they're always, and maybe it's not now, I don't know, but probably even more so now, but they're always in these kind of weird strip malls, these card shops. They're in weird strip malls, or they're in back alley, like janky places, and they're run by hoarders, it feels like, or at least the guy I went and saw was like
those
this.
Collectors are always so weird. They have such weird stuff in those places.
It's weird, man. And so I walked in, and there was like this underworld of life that I didn't know until that day. And I was like, whoa, this is weird.
Yeah.
So I asked him if he wanted to buy my baseball cards, and he said, sure. What do you have? It just depends, and I'll appraise them. And he wanted me to leave and come back. And I was smart enough to be like, no, I will sit here and watch you, take as long as you need, but I'm not going anywhere. And he offered me $15 for the whole thing. And I was like, just deflated. I didn't even know how to feel.
Yeah.
Oh, so hard.
I know. And they always talk about when you're growing up, like, oh, when you're riding your bikes, you want to make that motorcycle sound like, oh, clip a baseball card into the spokes. It's like, why would I clip a baseball card into the spokes? Why would I do that to a baseball card?
Why? What are you, fool?
Yeah. What are you, dumb? Come on now.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly how it was for me. And that's what I used. So I just used playing cards for that.
I used index cards. You kidding me?
Oh, yeah, you smart, dude. You were a smart kid. I was ripping off my parents' bicycle pack, man. I was like, you don't need to play bunco.
Yeah, no. Like, all the kids down the street were using baseball cards. Like, why are you guys doing that? Just use an index card. You don't need to use your baseball cards.
Right?
If you don't want them, give them to me. I'll take them.
I'll take them. Yeah, dude.
But, yeah. So, one super cool thing that happened to me, and this is pretty recent. So, that summer that I bought all those baseball cards, I probably got in all those sets, oh, man, I had to have gotten like 15 Paul Molitor cards.
15 what?
And I'm not... Paul Molitor
Oh,
cards?
okay, yeah.
Like, I'm not even kidding you.
That's
like,
crazy.
At least. So I had all these cards. So I knew very well growing up who he was. I paid attention to him, those last few years of his career very closely. I could have told you when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, who he played for his entire career, every stop, every year, you know, what he hit, everything. Because I had so many of those cards, I was just like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. So, so I was kind of a Paul Molitor fan, right? Kind of a random guy to be a fan of. Good hit, great hitter, but not necessarily one of the stars. So, 2016, summer 2016, I went on this journalism conference.
Oh yeah,
in Minnesota. We went to a Twins game. We got to cover a Twins game, and it was awesome. Like, Target Field is fantastic. I know I've said it before, but I can't say it enough. That is a beautiful ballpark. An amazing experience. But after the game, we went down into the clubhouse, and we did like post-game interviews and everything. And one of them, Paul Molitor, was managing the Twins at the time. And so, like, it was so cool to walk into his office for this post-game interview, and just, like, the guy who I was introduced to because of baseball cards. I had not only 15 triple play brand baseball cards of his, but also, you know, Don Russ, Upper Deck, because he was a guy who popped up in my card collection all the time, you know, with Milwaukee, Toronto, otherwise, and I think Kansas City, otherwise, you know, just through his career, he popped up constantly through my collection. And that's how I got to be a fan of him. And then, like, I'm seeing him in person. And, like, I couldn't explain it to the guys I was with because they were all considerably younger than me. I mean, I got into the journalism game older. But, like, I couldn't explain it to anybody with me because it was just, like, such a weird, surreal thing to me that there's this guy who I pretty much memorized his baseball cards. So I made the connection of watching and cheering for him on TV, and now I'm seeing him here in real life. Like, it was just, like, it was so cool. It was honestly one of the coolest.
I've never heard that story. That is fantastic.
It was it was rad. Just getting to, like, stand there right in front of Paul Molitor. I didn't even ask him a question because it's like everybody else was, like, so rapid fire that I didn't get a chance to. But I was just like, this is awesome.
Wow.
This is really
I love
cool
that story.
So
yeah.
Awesome experience.
So, oh wow, I don't even know how to follow that up. That's amazing. So, okay, let's talk more about value because it's not really heavily debated. Okay, there is a very clear-cut line in the sand as to where the value starts and stops. Mm-hmm. And the number one most coveted card in all of baseball card history is a 1909 to 1911 T206 Honus Wagner card with a white border. These routinely, they say, sell for $1 million.
Yeah.
I don't know. That doesn't even make sense to me, but there are reportedly, nobody knows for sure, there are reportedly 50 to 75-ish in circulation still, but, you know, original copies. Now think about that. It's 1909, and now it's 2019.
I have right here in 2016, one went for $3.2 million.
Oh my goodness!
That's according to Beckett. Good old Beckett.
Good old Beckett, man. Everybody had a Beckett book. Everybody.
Yeah.
Well, if you were into the baseball card thing, anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So there are tons of fakes. Brad did a little research and found some fakes.
You can get a replica Honus Wagner card on eBay for anywhere between $1 and $20, up to $60. I wouldn't pay $60 for a replica, but hey, if you're, like, into it and you want to get a replica Honus Wagner card, cool. Hop on eBay, pay a couple bucks for it. You got it.
Yeah.
But there is also one. It looks like it might be legit. It's going for $40,000 on eBay.
Whoa.
But honestly, like, I wouldn't trust them.
No.
If you have that kind of cash to burn, I wouldn't.
For sure.
I'd go to a collector. I'd go to an auction. Go somewhere that's for sure certified to make sure that you're getting the real deal and you're not getting fleeced. But I think anybody who's going to drop that kind of cash knows that kind of thing.
I would think so. Well, and so let's segment into this really quick. There is a professional sports authenticator. It's called the PSA. and they do the collector's certifications. That's what they do. Okay, they do other things, but they're the third-party grading system and the authenticating system for all sports memorabilia worldwide. And so if you're gonna invest in a card or any sort of memorabilia right now, you got to go make sure it's got a PSA grade on it, and that somebody who knows what they're talking about can look at it before you buy it, and that you get what you're paying for.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like I fleeced that kid in my neighborhood. It was one of my good friends that he didn't know who Mark McGuire was. You know, and had no idea. And it's really easy if you know what you're doing to replicate baseball cards, right?
It's not,
especially those old ones, that old material. I mean, you got to make sure you have that PSA certification on there.
So the number 2 most valuable card is the 1952 Topps number 311 Mickey Mantle card.
Wow.
That is the number 2. In 1952 was the first year that Topps entered the kind of the game. That's the first year they ever did a baseball card. And so that if you have the whole 1952 Topps set, then it's super popular, and you can get over $1,000 for that set.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's this is the one. It's got a white border on it, which obviously is more of a cream color, but then it's got his signature printed on top of it at the very bottom.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of that him, looking up at him thing, and so anyway, that's the number 2.
And that's kind of the signature of Topps too, is that white border.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool that it's stuck through it.
I know, right? Isn't that neat?
Yeah, I like that.
Number 3 is the 1916, the M101-5 Sporting News Babe Ruth rookie card. That is number 3.
That's number 3. A Babe Ruth rookie card is number 3.
Yeah, if you found one in PSA condition 8, which, let me just check for us. PSA condition 8 is considered 2 steps below mint. Okay, so a gem mint so is 10, a mint is 9, and near mint. So there's near mint, and then there's near mint. So near mint is 7, near mint is 8. It's like right in between. I could look into the details, but I'm not going to. If you can find one with an 8 or higher, it's $1 million card. That's a $1 million piece of paper.
Wow. Honestly, I'm a little surprised that it's only $1 million, just because it is Babe Ruth. Like I feel like, but also it's
scarcity. Yeah,
scarcity that drives price.
Yeah. Apparently the back is blank.
Oh really?
Yeah. Apparently the back is blank.
Just a picture of Babe Ruth. And
at the bottom it says Babe Ruth. Then there's a P dash Boston Red Sox, because he's a pitcher, right? P.
Yep.
And then the number 151, which is the indication.
The card number,
yeah.
Wow.
So if you can find one better than an 8 or better, then that's at least $1 million worth.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is insane.
So that's number 4 is also a Babe Ruth card. It's a rookie card. It's the Sporting News number 151, but it's got a back on it, I think, is how this one works.
Okay.
It's the M101-4 rather than the M101-5. The -4 is also going around $1 million at PSA 8 or greater.
And I could see that one without the back going for more, because that's probably an error.
Yeah. Well, it may be. Yeah, that's a good point.
If there's the other one that has I guess if it has a different number, I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah. It has a different
strange
number.
That maybe they just printed them with and without backs. I don't know. I wasn't alive then. Who's to say?
Yeah, for real. Number 5 is the 1909 to 1911 T206 Ty Cobb. Yeah, Ty Cobb. That's the same series that the Honus Wagner one is from, and it apparently goes for, again, $1 million or more, depending on the grade. But the grade has gone down, so you only need a PSA 4.5 or so or better will get you $1 million or more.
Wow.
Which is weird. You think that it would be ranked higher in this top 5 list because you don't need a higher quality in order to get the most money out of it.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's just that specific series because I bet you could get a Honus Wagner card at probably 3 or 4 that
still be worth something.
$1 million or 2 for.
They're saying that there are probably 22 or fewer in existence of this Ty Cobb T206.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not very many. And it comes with 6. This is interesting. So back then it was all advertising. These were selling products. That's what they were used for. And this one that I'm looking at is the Smoking Tobacco World company is the one that's advertised.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're included with tobacco. It's the tobacco set.
So, but there are 16 different variations with different product advertisements on the back of this T206 Ty Cobb. Is what they're saying. I'm sure it's the same with the Honus Wagner one.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I wonder why then the Babe Ruth one is blank.
Yeah, I don't know. And like you said, that since that was with Sporting News.
Yeah, different company. Yeah,
that might have just been since they were, I'm assuming, a media outlet then as well. I wonder if they were just printing photos, and then they decided, let's put the stats on the back there.
Yeah, or at least advertisements.
I mean,
yeah,
that's pure speculation. So, Brig, I have a question for you. When was the last time you actually bought a set of baseball cards?
That's a great question. I was probably... Nope, I remember I was 16. Yeah, I was 16. I was a sophomore in high school, and I had long since given up buying baseball cards. And I just got my first job, and I said to myself, I'd had a job for a few months or whatever, and I had a little bit of extra money because I just did. I don't know. Anyway, maybe I was 17, something like that. But I was in a Target or something. It must have been a Target, but I was in a store, and they just happened to be in the aisle, the checkout stand that I was in. There's like that next end cap or whatever, and I went and I grabbed a pack, and that was the last time.
Yeah. So I can tell you the last time I bought a pack. It was November of last year.
What?
Yep. That was the last time I bought a pack. Because I was teaching VIP Kid, which is online teaching English to kids in China via webcam. And part of that program is you have to have some kind of rewards program, like a reward system, right? And one of the students I taught pretty much every morning, I'd say I taught him 4 or 5 days a week. He played baseball, so we would talk baseball when we get started on the lesson. It was actually
sounds awesome.
It was a lot of fun because he's the only kid I taught who actually knew what baseball was even. And one day we were talking, and he said something about how he collected baseball cards. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So I went and I bought a pack of cards, and we used it as a reward system. We opened it together, and we flipped through it, and we'd look at it, and we'd read through the stats, and I'd show him on my map where the team was. So it was a whole lot of fun, and it was not only fun to be able to like share that with somebody who's into baseball cards now, to go through that, but it was also fun. Like I'd sit there when I was done, and be like, I need to be getting ready for work, but I'd be like, looking through these cards like I was 10 again, awesome. Because it was so fun to see baseball cards, and I wasn't even sure like where to find them because it'd been so long since I'd looked for any kind of cards at all that I kind of wandered around Target to see if I could find them, and eventually I did, obviously, and I got them, but yeah, so I got a
That's cool. That's awesome. That's another great story, Brad. That's great. Yeah. Damn. I mean, dang. Shoot.
But yeah, it was cool. And I still have them kicking around here somewhere.
So when we moved from Utah to South Carolina a couple of years ago, we went through my parents' storage, and my wife, we went through her parents' storage, and we found all my cards. And it was fun. It was fun, and we didn't have time to look through them, and I don't even remember what I told my dad to do with them. I don't remember. I don't remember if
really?
I told him to save them, or if I said it was up to him, or if I asked him, hey, you can throw everything else out if you need to, but these ones stay. I don't know. I don't remember what I said. I should call him and ask.
Yeah.
I doubt he threw them
Yeah,
away.
you should.
He could have. My mom probably did, but I don't think my dad would have. Yeah.
Yeah, my cards. So I had that big binder that I have no idea what happened to it. We've moved a lot in the last few years, and I have no idea where it went. No clue. But I do have a shoebox that I kept kind of like my spares. Like I called them my spares. Just kind of like the extras that is kind of like whatever. Like, remember my second grade teacher every Friday, if we didn't get in trouble or we didn't get our name on the board or whatever all week, he'd either give us a piece of candy or a baseball card. Every week I got a baseball card. And so a lot of those are in that shoebox. And then I put those two top sets in that shoebox. I still have those for sure.
That's awesome.
In that pack that I bought last year.
That's cool.
So, yeah, but I don't know where that binder is. Don't know what happened to it. That's the one that's what I really want to find.
So there's all the gold in it, man. Yeah, seriously.
Fool's gold.
It's so sad.
Now, unfortunately. Yeah. So, Brig, I shared the cards that I was nostalgic about, that Griffey card, that Frank Thomas card. Do you have any cards that you were nostalgic about?
Yeah, man. I had a Derek Jeter rookie card.
Nice.
And, it was the 90s. I was like, whoa, I think I pulled it out of a pack in like 98, and I just died.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened. I may have dumped the rest of the cards out. I don't know,
Because who cares at that point?
Oh, it was just madness. And I remember I tore open the cellophane wrapper and I flipped through it, and okay, there's whoever that is and whatever that. And then there it was. And I was like, what?
That's awesome.
It was crazy,
That's
man.
So rad.
It was there. And then I have a Mark McGwire card from his home run season. I have a Sammy Sosa one from that same year. That was 98 as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I have had wherever they are,
Yeah.
I had a Goose Gossage card with his big mustache coming down.
No way. That's awesome.
I don't know if I got it from my dad or something. I don't know, but it was in the family somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I just remember thinking, man, that dude's mean looking, right? It's just crazy mean looking. And but man, the day that I found that Derek Jeter rookie card just like blew my mind. And then through trading or something, somebody gave me the pre-rookie card with him in the like he was in, I think it was the University of Michigan. He was in training or something, because I don't think he ever actually played there, but he was wearing Wolverine blue and yellow, I don't know, but I have that somewhere, and that was cool, but not as cool. Anyway, it was crazy. So cool. I have some great stuff. I even have a Michael Jordan card somewhere.
Nice. Yeah. That's awesome. So the one card I feel like that's like really special, I do have. I might have a couple of them actually. So my dad grew up with. He had a buddy who got drafted by, I believe, but I do know he pitched for the Yankees. Mm-hmm. I told you about that earlier with I think it was episode 1. His name's Scott Nielsen. But I have a couple cards that were signed by him. So those are actually like super cool. They're I want to say they're Donruss cards. I can't remember for sure. But I think they're in that binder. I need to find it so that I can find those. But yeah, it was really cool, like hearing the story about like who that guy was, because I just saw that it was signed, and then my dad told me that was my good friend growing up. That's awesome. So that was one thing that was really cool, like flipping through my cards and finding that. So
that's neat.
Anyways, let's get wrapping up on this. Baseball family, we've shared our favorite baseball card stories, some cards that we're nostalgic about. Share with us your baseball cards. Any funny trading stories, any cards that you had that you loved growing up. Go ahead and share them with us. We want to hear about it because even though they're not worth anything anymore, like we talked about, they're still a whole lot of fun to flip through every once in a while and just kind of talk about. Brig's going to have a column coming up on baseballtogether.com here pretty soon about baseball cards. So you can head on over and read
Super exciting
at your leisure.
Don't forget to visit the shop at shop.9plusus.com. Pick up some awesome baseball t-shirts. We've been releasing a t-shirt a week the whole season. Things are crazy, and I mean, that's a lot. So there's like a ton of stuff on there. We just did our second series in straight team colors. So you can get everything you need with team color on it.
And it's awesome. It is super cool. And make sure that you like, subscribe, rate, review the podcast wherever you listen. And baseball family, we will catch you next week.